Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023.2 release overview. My name is Terry Turner. I'm today's monitor, and I'm joined by two of our senior directors of product management, Ian and Venki, who will be taking us through the new features today. We also have our product team with us today who's ready to answer any questions throughout today's session. In accordance to the safe harbor, please know that this presentation is intended for informational purposes only and is not a commitment to deliver any functionality and decisions should not be made on the information shared today. Here at Reltio, we subscribe to a disruption-free release. We have 3 major releases a year in January, June, and October, as well as weekly releases to deploy urgent updates and bug fixes. 2023.2 is our second major release of the year. This release will be available in preview starting today, June 5th, and generally available on June 27th. Now I'd like to hand it over to Ian, who will take us through exciting new features included in this release.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located globally. Really excited for us to present our 23.2 release today. So before diving into the release, just wanted to highlight as a product team how we think about our releases and our product roadmap. So on the slide, we have the 3 sections divided. So we have 3 big themes that we've anchored on, starting with simplified data activation. That's one of our key driving themes for the Reltio platform. The second one is strengthening data unification. And then the last one is continuous enhancement of our real-time performance and reliability. So anchoring on these 3 themes, we've worked on a number of initiatives, and today very excited to present to you what's going to be part of the 23.2 release. And as Terry mentioned, this is available today in your dev tenant as preview, and then the general availability of this release will be happening on June 26th. So starting off with the first data activation piece, we are launching new data domains for our key velocity packs for the market segments of life sciences and healthcare. So I will talk more about what that means exactly. And then the second piece is we're really excited to announce our early access for the Databricks Delta Lake connector. As you might be aware, we have Google BigQuery, we have Snowflake as data pipeline connectors that are generally available and have been already launched. This is just adding to the portfolio of our data pipeline cloud warehouse connectors, and Databricks Delta Lake will now be available as early access. Then moving on to strengthening data unification, there's 4 key things here that I want to highlight. First one is the availability of pre-trained machine learning models to simplify and automate matching. This will be available as early access, and a lot more details will be shared here through the course of the hour that we're spending together. So excited to announce the availability there. The second one is availability of householding, generally available to all of you if you're interested, grouping customer data and providing householding metrics and summary based on that. And all of this will be automated. And again, more details will be shared later on. Another enhancement is around workflow tasks for data stewards. This is around providing higher efficiency when it comes to managing workflow tasks and completing tasks and increasing productivity and saving time. Then lastly, under strengthening data unification is aggregated search APIs, which means that we've taken our complex searches, unified them into a single search, and really it's about providing high performance in milliseconds in accordance to your scalability needs. So a really exciting enhancement there. And then lastly, on real-time performance, we're very excited to offer Azure in EU now in accordance with our cloud leadership and really expanding our global footprint along with all of your strategic needs worldwide. And then lastly, to round things out, Spanner, we're now leveraging Spanner database for Google Cloud, which again, because we're a cloud native platform, we're available across Azure, GCP, and AWS. This is another way for us to really extend our leadership thinking with when it comes to cloud native platform availability, and having the spanner database usage will just allow us to provide even higher performance at a millisecond level. So that's the highlights. Now we're going to dive into each one of these sections in greater detail. So starting off with the Velocity Pack updates, when it comes to life sciences, we are now launching our clinical operations data domain. And within clinical operations, there's a few key data models that we've added and a lot of attributes and rich relationships and interaction data and reference data in accordance with all of these data domain data models. So within clinical operations, we have things like clinical study, clinical site, drug, sponsor, investigator, and then associated relationships between investigator, clinical sites, and studies. And you can see some of the lines that are drawn in this diagram to indicate all of the different relationships that now exist within this Velocity Pack for life sciences. And ultimately, what this is doing is driving some key outcomes for all of our customers that are using clinical operations related data domain and data models. And ultimately, this is powering outcomes like decentralized clinical trial. In today's world, being able to remotely participate in all of these clinical trials is essential. And having core unified clean data powered by these Velocity Packs enables those key outcomes. In addition, you can also easily select investigator and sites and select the right group of participants based on various diverse criteria and make sure that the clinical trials are occurring in the best manner possible so that the best data can be obtained from those trials. And then the data domains in the Velocity Pack, this enhanced clinical operations data domain, will also power improved clinical performance analytics. So being able to perform clinical trials in a much more efficient fashion and being able to track that data and get those key insights. And all of this is ultimately leading to the fact that all of the data that's now available through the clinical trial can be used by the FDA to fast track approvals and providing all the data in a timely manner. So it just makes the end-to-end clinical operation much more faster and efficient and drives a lot greater business value. Then moving on to another piece of life sciences is the commercial operations part. So in addition to clinical trial data, we are now going to be delivering commercial operations related data, and that includes the addition of two key new domains. That includes integrated data network and integrated delivery network, and also group purchasing organization. So the integrated delivery network is really about the grouping of healthcare facilities. And then these group purchasing organizations can negotiate discounts on behalf of healthcare providers. So having those important new data domains will allow commercial operations to take place much more effectively. And then on top of that, this Velocity Pack will also have pre-trained life sciences related machine learning models to further automate matching and merging processes and dramatically simplify and speed up how quickly that can happen. And then ultimately, again, this is powering key business outcomes like driving higher sales effectiveness, improved productivity. And this is happening through the critical relationships that are now available within the Velocity Pack between, say, IDNs and HCOs or GPOs and HCOs. So all of that rich relationship data, in addition to the data attributes and the data domains, will allow for these business outcomes to be delivered. And then overall with HCP, with healthcare professional and healthcare organization data, segmentation and personalized engagement of researchers and insights will now be powered through the addition of the commercial operations data domain. Now, moving on to healthcare. So life sciences and healthcare are the two key areas of value that we're delivering as part of this release. Healthcare is the other market segment in Velocity Pack, where we're driving some key business outcomes. So starting with providers, this is where we are able to provide the complete picture of the patient, consumer, and practitioner by deduplicating records, providing that single source of truth for patients, and overall for providers that drives improved billing accuracy. And then the ability to grow the business and drive more personalized engagement with patients, with the household information that's now available, that'll speed up and optimize business outcomes. And then lastly, the ability to streamline consent, care management, and also simplify compliance processes with things like the No Surprises Act and driving those compliance outcomes as a result of the enhanced healthcare velocity pack that we're delivering. So that's on the provider side. On the payer side, we are providing a 360 view of the member and network provider. So this is ultimately driving a better member experience and increased compliance. And also with payers, this velocity pack allows streamlined claims processing with better, more accurate data, more accurate patient data, provider data. And then lastly, the ability to address any barriers that get in the way of accessing healthcare, and then also mitigating any adverse health events. So all of these outcomes are now possible because of the enhancements that we've done with the healthcare velocity pack. So now I'll talk about what is new for the healthcare velocity pack that allows us to drive these business outcomes for our customers. So starting with the data domain, now it has the ability to group households based on things like income or bank account information. And that will provide more value from the velocity pack. Then there's added interactions, things like encounters with patient and claim pre-authorization, predetermination. And then on the reference data side, we've added a lot of new types of reference data. So we added for a set of insurance plan benefits. We've also added healthcare privacy consent. And then we've added a ton of new attributes around the social determinants of health, things that actually impact health on a day-to-day basis, like household, education, occupation, income, lifestyle, and a set of other attributes. Then on the clinical profile side, we now have detailed history available, medication, diagnosis. So all of these detailed attribution, enhanced attributes on the healthcare pack allow us to deliver those outcomes that are referred to on the previous slide. And then we also have new relationship types like household membership, insurance plan, HCO network, and so on. So that's all I had to share on the velocity pack front. I'm now going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to the next presenter.
Thanks, Ian. I'm going to present my screen. All right, so let's talk about some of the other exciting initiatives and capabilities coming out with Reltio platform, right? At Reltio, we take capabilities like machine learning at the forefront, right? And it is powering some of our key capabilities within the platform, right? As you already know, with Match IQ, customers can train their own models, but that comes with certain complexities and time it takes to get the data and train the models and get the results, right? Now, in order to accelerate time to value for customers, Reltio is now launching pre-trained ML models specific to a particular industry and a domain, right? So what customers would get is for a particular industry, the first one being life sciences and the domain healthcare professional, Reltio customers in this particular industry would be able to accelerate matching with much higher accuracy with zero effort at all, right? So the Reltio will have these pre-trained models and you will start seeing immediate results, faster, accurate matching. You'll have high quality data from downstream applications. Setting a manual match rules takes hundreds of person hours, right? And then you have to keep fine-tuning them over a period of time, keep managing, maintaining them. Whereas pre-trained models come with similar accuracy on day zero, and they will provide value immediately, right? So we will provide entity resolution accuracy with ML models, which is pre-trained on 5 to 10 years of life sciences active data, right? So we are working with our customers right now in this particular industry and working in training these models. This particular capability is available in early access with 23.2 release. And we invite our customers to work with us to participate in this early access and for us to show the value of the product and for them to see the value of how it makes it simple, accurate, and very easy to adopt machine learning based match rules. In the similar theme, what we have, right? We not only we have ML embedded within Reltio, but we are also power investments that customers have made in machine learning and analytics with cloud data warehouses like Databricks. And we are introducing a new connector for between Reltio and Databricks in early access with 23.2 release. A simple connector that can be enabled within between the two platforms will push data from Reltio to Databricks in near real time. And then customers can then analyze and act on their data combined with all their sources within Databricks in real time and derive reliable and insights from it, right? For all the ML models or analytics they're running Databricks, the performance improve because Reltio power, sends real-time, continuously created and high-quality data, which from using this pipeline, and you can use ML transparency and build trust with auditable high-quality data within Databricks, right? Some of those insights will follow, will pass through multiple downstream systems and improve, business processes. So we again inviting customers to work with us on Databricks connector. Let us know if you're interested, and we will be very excited to enable it in within your environment and try us and give it us feedback. And slowly, when we get feedback and work on it, Databricks connector will be generally available and released for all the customers. Continuing with the theme of strengthening our data unification capabilities, one of the most time-consuming costs and costly capabilities that customers have to enable is identifying relationships automatically and group members or profiles into a particular household. Right now, it will be very manual and very expensive and high maintenance customizations need to be done to identify these particular profiles of a household. Right, a household could be individuals you have being on the same let's say phone plan and living at the same house, same address, but then an organization can still not identify being them at the same household, or policy holders from different auto, health, different kind of policies living at the same place, but customers our customers cannot identify them as part of household. So what with Reltio is launching is an automated grouping into a household kind of a capability, where using our very familiar match rule engines, customers will be able to specify rules based on which profiles or consumers should be grouped into a particular household. Household is one type of grouping. There will be other type of groupings that we will introduce in future, but it's the very first one. And we're really excited because this solves a real pain point. And customers, after deploying this, will be able to have a much better visibility into their own customer base. Who are their consumers? Who are their customers? And how are they related to each other without doing any time-taking or expensive customizations? So with that, let's look at it, how this whole thing works. All right. So setting up a householding is very, very familiar, right? All of you right now create match rules. You just have to create match rule with a new match action that will create a new group or a household immediately. You can set up rules based on certain attributes. For example, all the people having a similar last name and living on the same address should be part of a household. Then you select your comparators, your match tokens. Very similar interface that you have used so far for building your match rules, available as a self-service in Data Modeler. Once you have configured your match rules, you configure a grouping. So as you can see, right, I was mentioning that creation of a household is really simple, right? Just like, you create match rules right now, you select certain attributes on which these match rules will work, and you select a new match action called automatically group profiles into a particular household. And then you build your match rule table, you select your comparators, you select your match tokens. Very familiar interface, intuitive, easy to use, right? No customizations needed. And it's available in Data Modeler now. So once you go to Data Modeler, you'll be able to see match rules, and you already see match rules there and create a household. A new capability on the left side that you see is grouping types, and that's where you configure a grouping type called household, right? And then you select basic attribution there, what kind of household it would be, party group, and then you set up what are the derived attributes, which is the member entity type, which works on an individual, and then what are the different identification rules, what are the different relationship it should do, right? So you can have different relationship types and you can select one, and then you have an option to figure out, to select, whether you want to create a household just with one member or only with more than one member, right? And once you set up this rule, and you can, as you can see how easy or intuitive it is, and save it, Reltio in the background would automatically run these match rules and identify households on its own. So let me skip a little ahead. And, so this particular grouping is created, and now let's see it in action, right? And I'll show you a couple of scenarios to explain how powerful this entire capability can be, right? So once the match rule is set up, once the householding party, grouping type is created, in the background, the match rules are running and identifying, right? So this particular profile, McKinley, you can see it is part of a derived household, Lorne. And once you click on this particular derived household, it will already show you that everybody with the same last name, McKinley, is already part of this particular household, right? This household in the history view, you can see was created recently and was created by the system, right? By Reltio. Right? So this was one. Right? Another scenario is, suppose you are in Salesforce, right? And you're creating your contacts or, different profiles on the fly. As soon as, using your Salesforce integration, as soon as this profile hits Reltio, you'll be able to see that the profile is automatically associated to the household, right? This is the one we just created, and it's automatically associated with the profile since it came on the same last name and the same address, right? So you can see the power here, the simplicity and the intuitiveness of how the thing works on its own. Now, if you make any changes on the profile, for example, you delete the address, right? Now, this particular profile is not living on the same address, which means the match rules don't consider them as a match to be part of the same household. And once the household data is refreshed, see if you can see this particular profile is not part of the household that was created by the name of Lorne. And when we open that household now, you will see that it now only has 2 members. So the match rules are executing based on the rules were created. Address got removed. Here we are back to 2 profiles, back from 3 to 2. And even if you make any changes to the data, make any edits or delete any member, it works completely seamlessly, automatically. So extremely simple, really fast to set up, but completely automated and runs on your rules, right? This capability is available as part of, will be generally available as part of the GA release on 26th. If you're interested in using it, you can simply raise a support ticket and let us know, and we will enable it in your tenant. There's no limit. All customers can participate into it. We're just enabling it on base of support tickets right now. So please reach out to us, and we'll be excited to work with you on this and see you deploying it in. We have a very strong roadmap for householding in future, coming up with things like calculated attributes and things like that. So that was about householding. The next thing I want to talk about is workflow, right? Customers such as you are processing data management tasks and in very, very high volumes. These could be data change requests, any of the out-of-the-box workflows that we provide with Reltio, or this could be any of the custom workflows that you have created, right? And with large volumes of tasks being processed, to keep the data clean, to keep high quality data within Reltio, data stewards have to spend a lot of time within Reltio inbox to process these tasks, right? Which means they need an intuitive UI to simply find the tasks quickly and process them even faster, right? We have been, for past few releases, introducing more and more tools within Reltio inbox to improve data steward efficiency, right? So within the same spirit, we are introducing a completely new view within Reltio inbox, which is a tabular view, right? So till now, data stewards could only see in all the tasks in a particular list, which could be very long scroll, with hundreds of tasks. But now there's a new tabular view available with every different task type presented as tabs on top, and then which you can simply select, and you can see all the tasks associated with that. And then you can do all your bulk actions or individual actions, which are very, very, very familiar to do, right? What this powers is, much more flexibility to organize tasks. There is a strong searching capability and, simpler, very, very simple consumption of Reltio inbox. And as I will show you in a quick demo, that every data steward can personalize this completely based on their own preferences, right? There's no one rule for everyone. You can set it up, right? Let's just see it in action. This is the very familiar workflow inbox that you have seen, and this comes with a list view. As I click on the table view, which is a toggle there, you can see a new table view appearing on in the inbox. If you see on the top, these are the different task types: account information, account onboarding, this process data. On the left side, you have the familiar search that we launched a couple of releases ago. So you can simply search based on them, and then your tasks are filtered. We have now, just as a table view that you have been using on search, you can simply select which columns do you want. You can reorder the columns, and these preferences are saved at a user level. So one data steward can have completely different preferences than the other one. Even if they log out and log back in, all the preferences are saved at all times, right? You have single select, multi-select, or select all capabilities. You can switch between different task types coming in. And the key thing is that what you select as a personalization, right? For example, which columns to show can be different for every task type, right? So for certain task types, certain columns make more sense, are more relevant, and for other types, they are not. So completely personalized, customizable, completely personalizable by end users, and Reltio will always remember that personalization. So extremely powerful, and it's available as part of preview. It's already available on all your dev tenants, and then you can go ahead and give it a shot and let us know what you think about it. Moving on, I want to talk about scalability when it comes to finding the right profiles, right? With our complex scenarios that we support and our customers need in real time, the search could become very, very complex, right? So in certain industries and domains, let's take an example. For example, let's an example for insurance industry, right? You want to find a particular profile, and then all the relationships for that profile and all the policies held by that person, right? And it needs to be done in near real time, or in real time, actually, right? In a contact center scenario, the current set of APIs will take, this is a multi-step complex action, and it needs to be delivered in real time for our customers, right? And for the same purpose, we are introducing a new API endpoints for our search APIs. With using these, you can search profile across customer data. You can perform complex multi-step queries in milliseconds, right? These are very customizable. You have simple options that you can pick while configuring or calling these search APIs, and the results will be returned within milliseconds, all in one query, all in one API call, right? So increase search effectiveness and performance with complex multi-step scenarios. And there are multiple options that I would like to share with you, right? And you'll get all these slides and you'll see the details, right? So there are multiple use cases that we can solve, right? With these APIs. For example, in a single call, we want to find entities by attribute value, right? Return those entities and their relationships and grouped by type along with their start and end objects. For example, You are looking up agreement by policy ID, right? That returns policy, all the related people, all households connected to them, and all policies connected to those households. All that can be done with one API endpoint, which is underscore search connections, right? This is how powerful it is. One API call giving you multiple types of results aggregated, right? Another one could be, you're finding individuals by contract numbers, then written all the found individuals, but only those where the contracts have, covered parties as a reference attribute, right, on the relationship. So another complex multi-step query, and then you can use find connected parties endpoint. Now, third one could be search before save, right? You're posting an object, right? This is not just certain case. You're posting a new policy ID, but save only if that policy ID does not exist in any of the object. Otherwise, do not save, right? So not creating any duplicates in there. And then you have a conditional API endpoint in there. So extremely powerful set of aggregate APIs to use, already available. You can give it a shot in your dev tenants and let us know. All of them work with really, really hyper performance millisecond results. Okay, so moving on from this to our cloud platform related investments, we are, as you know, right, Reltio enables data sovereignty, globally for customers, right? Gives them a choice to deploy Reltio in a cloud of their choice, in a region of their choice. In the same spirit, we are making further investments in growing our cloud regions. Starting end of June, Reltio will be available on Azure in EU, right? So we are starting a new region in Ireland, and all the current and future customers of Reltio and partners will have an additional choice to deploy Reltio on Azure within EU, right? And satisfy all the data sovereignty requirements like GDPR within the EU. So really excited about this. Let us know if you want to work with us on this one. Another key investment that's going on for some time, as you know, is within improving performance by associating more closely with our cloud providers when it comes to our primary database. If you remember last year, we moved our primary databases from Cassandra to DynamoDB for all customers who are deployed on AWS. But for now, for all customers on GCP, we are doing a similar exercise and moving our primary database to Spanner, right? With Spanner, customers will get superior performance and reliability, automated elastic scaling and on-demand capacities, and much more easier integration with other Google Cloud services, right? And being distributed, Spanner, by its very nature, is with Reltio can power actually millisecond performance at scale all across the globe. So we're really excited about this. Any new tenants that are getting provisioned right now are on Spanner automatically, but in next few weeks, we are going to migrate all the existing tenants to Spanner as well. And just like before, it's going to be seamless procedure, and we'll keep you posted at every step. So really excited about this particular capability. And yeah, and so that was some of the key highlights that we wanted to share with you today. But there is a lot more, right, in the release. And there will be we will be sharing the content with you. There will be a release blog and other resources. Our release notes are updated. So there are many other capabilities that have come up. Like, for example, we have new enhancements in Salesforce connector. The GBQ connector that we launched last release has now a self-service UI. There are new enhancements in data modeling, improving your time to value. To improving your data quality, there are new data validation functions getting introduced around date comparators. And we are adding support for a new IDP called Key Cloak out of the box itself, right? So these are other capabilities that are going out of the release. And I said, all the details are available in the release notes, as well as there will be a detailed blog on all these capabilities, right? So really excited to share these with you.
If I may add just a couple of more details, Sushant, if you can stay on that slide. First of all, I did see a question in the Q&A about making the recording available. Sushant, you already mentioned that this session right now that we are in is recorded, and it will be made available through the Reltio community. And not just this, any of our previous release webinars, any of the other details that you want to review, those are made available with the full recordings and the transcripts as part of our Reltio community. So please do review that at any point, and you can also use a community to engage with your peer group, with other customers and partners, as well as with the Reltio product team. So we look forward to your comments, your questions, and all there if you're not able to cover them today. The other question that came up was, this was in the context of the search APIs. Does it impact any of our existing APIs? And I want to once again assure you all that anytime Reltio makes any changes to existing functionality or removes something in a material way, we publish deprecation notices well in advance. We usually give about a year's notice for any such change so that you, our customers and partners, you have the ability to absorb that change fully. So all of these things that we are discussing today are additions to our existing set of capabilities. Rest assured that there is no change, and we ensure that our releases are disruption free. We want to make sure that your operations continue without any disruption. So it's a good question. It gives us an opportunity to clarify our philosophy of how we approach our releases. But these are all additional capabilities that are now available for you to get more value out of your Reltio investments. There are a couple of things, Sushant, you mentioned. I just again want to double click on that. Data quality has been a huge focus for Reltio, and we are improving those data quality capabilities, and the data validation functions, the new data validations we are introducing in this release is in the spirit of enabling you to create better quality data within Reltio to validate the data that you bring into Reltio and provide the high quality data to your downstream consuming systems. We had, if you remember in the previous release, just about 3-4 months back, we had introduced data validations to be enforced as errors so that you do not ingest bad quality data. Now we are adding additional capabilities in data quality by introducing these additional validation capabilities. So again, a significant piece. We did not cover that in our demonstration today, but you will see more information come out through our documentation as well as through our community webinars and posts and blogs, like Sushant mentioned. So just wanted to highlight that again. The 2 machine learning related enhancements now, we mentioned at the beginning that machine learning continues to be a focus for Reltio, both in terms of Reltio being the provider of high quality data for you to accelerate your machine learning investments, because ML is one of those areas where the underlying data that is used for creating your models will determine ultimately the output and the outcome of your investments in machine learning. So that is why Reltio is a key component of machine learning strategy, AI, ML strategy for most of our customers as the provider of clean, high quality data. So the 2 functionalities that we are talking about, the Databricks connector especially makes that high quality data available in your Databricks environment so that you can build models around it and you can trust the data that you're using for building those models. And our investments in our pre-trained machine learning models for automatic entity resolution or matching and merge is another area where you will continue to see more investments. So we are releasing the life sciences specific model this release, but we're also going to add additional domain specific models, in the short time frame. So just wanted to touch upon a few of those highlights once again. And another exciting thing, if you go to the next slide, you've all heard about the industry conference that Reltio is organizing, along with several of the thought leaders, several of our customers and partners, many of you, to share and learn from each other around the modern data management practices, modern data management technologies and investments we are making. So this is an industry conference focused on modern data management. It's called Data Driven. We are bringing it back. This conference used to happen pre-pandemic. So we are really, really excited to bring this conference back in person the first week of October. You can see the dates there. The site is up, registrations are open. So we want to welcome you all to participate in it. Please do visit the site. This is a great opportunity for you to share your expertise, learn from your peer group, and really stay ahead of what is happening in as new innovations and capabilities in data management. We invite you all to be a part of this journey with us.
This wraps up the 2023.2 release overview. Thank you for your attendance. Have a fantastic rest of your day.